মদ্যপান, ধূমপান ও মাদক সেবন স্বাস্থ্যের পক্ষে ক্ষতিকর।
Dear listeners, this pitch which you are gonna listen now is actually a part of a collaboration, also an experimental project between giving a speech in front of a live audience and also recreating it on social media platform. So this speech was actually given in front of a live audience, and now this speech which you will be listening is the exact word by word recreated version of that speech. I hope you will love it. Please enjoy the speech, and I believe you will learn a lot from this speech. And also do subscribe me on YouTube for more awesome content, and follow my Facebook page for more regular updates and awesome contents there also.
Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome to the stage. Today our brother Azhar Islam Eid is going to present his lecture. Before that, let me introduce a man. He is my friend and a chess enthusiast who has experience playing in the weirdest of times, as I'm sure you're gonna hear it today. So what's the hold up? Let's begin.
So assalamu alaikum. Hello, I am Azhar Islam Eid. For now, you can just consider me as a content creator. Now, if I try to connect myself with today's topic, then to be very honest, I'm literally no one whom you can recognize just by my name or my identity. So for now, you can just consider me as a chess lover who just loves to play chess. So our today's topic is how chess can improve you as a person. But before that, I would actually love to thank my bro, my friend syzerial, for giving me this opportunity to speak about something I love the most to do, talking about chess in front of this great live audience. I am really honored for that. Love you, brother, for this. And guys, you can actually check out his YouTube channel. This guy is a damn extraordinarily talented person. He's actually an artist. He does some drawings and stuff, which actually I don't understand much about this creative field, but yeah, he does. When I see his content, it's something epic. It always blows my mind. So you can please watch his channel, check out his channel. You will enjoy it. It's a worth to check out his channel. Yeah, please do check it out. I have given the link in the description. Yeah, please do it, and do subscribe him also. I love you, brother, for giving me this opportunity. Now back to the topic. When people hear the word or the name of the game chess, they consider it as a game of brilliant people, or a game which is either too much boring to play or something not made for everyone to play. Or there is actually another type of group also who literally just criticizes the game. I'm not going to that part, but dude, that's actually not the case. Anyone can play this game if you just understands how to play this game. Now you might actually say that, bro, that's the same thing, only brilliant people understands how to play chess and we are not one of them. But dude, that's actually not the case. If you just understands how to if you really understands how to play this game, and like you just know the rules, you can play on it. You can play on your own. You don't need to be too much brilliant. It's just all on your creativity and stuffs. Actually today I want to show you guys the reality of chess, because in my surrounding people always considers chess as a game of genius people only, and it's not played like other board games are played in regular basis or entertainment basis, like Ludo, Carrom board, or any other board games. Literally when they think of chess, it's just a normal headache for them. Now that's something I feel too much bad about. Believe me, if you have the perspective, then chess can be damn entertaining and enjoyable also, and also something fun to watch. Like I always watch live streams and chess games whenever it's happening, and I really enjoy it because I have that perspective, luckily. Also, chess is one of the rare games in which can be played equally with fair competition from two different generation players. In fact, I have actually seen a boy of age 4 or 5, I guess, playing against a player who is nearly on his way to 60, and that little kid was literally giving a goddamn tough competition to that adult player, and I was just watching and thinking how the hell it is even possible. But then when actually turns out that boy is nearly on his way to become a grandmaster already. So that's something too much epic. So that's where fair competition and a healthy competition comes. Now, in today's world, people is too much busy and always rushing towards something. So they don't have enough time, and chess is always known for its long hourly duration games. But in today's world, it's true that the standard timing is 1 hour plus versus 1 hour plus, and it can even increase if the situation demands. But also there are short duration time limits. But before explaining the timing system, first I actually want to tell you what is chess. What is this game all about? So, chess is an abstract strategy game and involves no hidden information. It is played on a square chessboard with 64 squares arranged in 8x8 grid. At the start, each player, one controlling the white pieces and the other controlling the black pieces, controls 16 pieces: 1 king, 1 queen, 2 rooks, 2 bishop, and 2 knight, and 8 pawns. The object of the game is to checkmate the opponent's king, whereby the king is under immediate attack in check and there is no way for it to escape. There are also several ways a game of chess can end in a draw. For some further information, organized chess arose in the 19th century. Chess competition today is governed internationally by FIDE, also known as the International Chess Federation. And currently, the world champion of chess is GM Magnus Carlsen. Now, just for a clarification, chess is normally played using black and white pieces, just to differentiate. And they are the most simplest color which exists, and also can be spotted by any colorblind person. Chess pieces do exist with different colors, and also it is legal to play with different colors, but it's just so that everyone can play together. That's the reason black and white pieces are used. In chess, every piece have its own value and power, and if you play it in the correct or wrong way, then even a small piece can even change the entire game. So let's get introduced to the pieces first. First, the king. The king moves 1 square in any direction. There is also a special move called castling that involves the king and a rook. About the rook I will be telling later, but for now, the king is the most valuable piece. Attacks on the king must be immediately countered, and if this is impossible, then immediate loss of the game occurs. A king can be the most weakest piece, but can also be the most powerful piece on the board, depending on the position of the board. And most of the players, especially in the beginning level, actually forgets that king can save and protect itself, and can also attack when it's needed. It's not a handicapped piece. It's just you need to keep the position on the board on such a way that the king is safe and can also protect himself, and sometimes can also help the other pieces if needed. Also, if you want your king to play in the whole board, it should be always pre-planned. Doing it right on the spot is most of the time risky, and so if you as a player want to use the power of the king, first make the position on the board like that and then use your king. So in this case here, chess is also improving your pre-planning skills and your future visualizing skills, which is always helpful and needed in your life. Now, the queen. The queen is the most powerful piece in the game of chess. It's able to move in any square vertically, horizontally, or diagonally. Combining the power of a rook and a bishop, each player starts the game with 1 queen placed in the middle of the first rank next to the king. Now, about the rook. A rook is one of the major pieces in the game of chess. A rook can move in any number of squares along a rank or file, but cannot leap over other pieces. Along with the king, a rook is involved during the king's castling move, as I told you earlier. A bishop. A bishop is actually one of the minor pieces of the game of chess. A bishop can move any number of squares diagonally but cannot leap over other pieces. Each player will have just 2 bishops. One will be the light color bishop, which means it can only travel in the light colored squares of the board diagonally. And the other one is the dark colored bishop, which means it will just travel the dark squares of the board diagonally. Now, here is the part where chess actually improves you as a person. Because you have 2 bishops on the board, now it's totally your decision how you will use them, and it's totally your plan how you will utilize their power. So chess here is improving your decision and plan making skills. And great chess players and grandmasters always says that if you can use the power of the bishop pair, then hardly anyone can defeat you in this game. Now, the knight. Well, to be very honest, the knight is the most trickiest and the craziest piece of all. And also it's a tough challenge for me to explain how does a knight moves, because I have never explained it before. It just got automatic for me by playing and practicing. So the knight, it's a piece in the game of chess represented by a horse's head and neck. A knight moves to any of the closest square that are not on the same rank, file or diagonal. Thus the move forms an L shape, 2 squares vertically and 1 square horizontally, or 2 squares horizontally and 1 square vertically. The knight is the only piece that can leap over other pieces in the game of chess. At last, the pawn. A pawn can move forward to the unoccupied square immediately in front of it on the same file, or on its first move it can advance 2 squares along the same file, provided both squares are unoccupied. A pawn can capture an opponent's piece on a square diagonally in front of it by moving to that square. It cannot capture a piece while advancing along the same file. A pawn has 2 special moves, the opposite capture and promotion. Now, after we know all the pieces, let me clear your doubts and misconceptions about the timings. Now, this is very much true that a chess is a long durational game. In the official tournaments or competitions, chess games are played with a time control, or even if in a friendly matches they do use the time controls. If a player's time runs out before the game is completed, the game is automatically lost, provided the opponent has enough time and pieces left to deliver checkmate. The duration of a game ranges from a long or classical games which can take up to 7 hours, even longer if adjournments are permitted. There is also another form of timing, which is bullet chess, which is played under 3 minutes per player for the entire game. Intermediate between these are blitz chess games lasting between 10 minutes and rapid chess games lasting between 1 and 2 hours per game, a popular time control in amateur weekend tournaments. Now, talking about the results of a game, chess always gives you motivation even if you are losing. There is a very popular chess phrase which is never resign from a game or never say you lost until the game actually ended. In chess, there are basically 3 types of results: win, draw and lose. You can win by mainly through checkmate, which means the king is in check and the player has no legal moves left. Also, there are other rules like resignation, which means a player may resign from a game. Now, this basically happens when your opponent just knows the position is fully lost for him and there is no more hopes, like even a draw is not possible at that moment. Another way of winning is win over time, which I just told you earlier about. Basically, your opponent's time has fully ended up and you still have enough time to play another legal move and have enough pieces over the board to checkmate your opponent. Forfeit is also a way of winning, but that's majorly followed in official tournaments. Now, about losing. It's basically the direct opposite of winning, but the main reason of losing a game apart from violating the rules is mainly the mistakes done during the game, like making a huge blunder in games or making continuous bad moves might let you lose a match. Now, a draw. A draw is something which is really awesome and fair in chess, because when you are just totally winning a match or in a complete 100% winning position, the most worst can happen to you is that the game might end up in a draw, but you are not losing, that's for sure. But on the other hand, if you are completely losing and the game and there is no more chances of you to win, you can still try to make the game a draw by a lot of different rules like stalemate or threefold repetitions and other drawing rules. Now, there are actually positions where players can actually go for a mutual draw by agreement. Just for an example, suppose my friend Syzerial and I am playing a match against each other and the position is fully blocked and closed, and no way we can break through the position. Now both of us as a chess player, we just know that breaking through this position might end up losing the position for the player who is breaking it. So no point of doing that, because this might result a huge blunder for us. So doing that will be a massive blunder for sure. So let's consider it's my move now and I just know that the position is just a draw, and even my opponent, so in this case it's Syzerial, also just knows it. So I offered him a draw which he immediately accepts, just because even he knows this is the best result for this position. So in this case we both went for a mutual draw by agreement, where we both accepted the draw and the game ended up resulting a draw. Now in this short story in between, I also told you about how we both know about what each other is thinking. Actually here chess teaches us about what is the other person thinking, or more specifically chess teaches us about mind reading. Actually in chess it's not enough to think what you will play next, you will also have to consider what your opponent is thinking and what's he gonna play next, because it's just obvious that if you give the best against your opponent, the player will also give the best against you. So you have to think what your opponent is thinking, and this actually helps in lot of way. It's teaching you how to read others' mind considering the current situation, also helping you to see the coming future in the most logical way, and also teaching you to be prepared for all the coming outcomes. And in this whole journey, the most important thing it's doing is to teach you being calm and peaceful, and also showing you how to keep full patience. At this point of this speech, you pretty much know how the chess pieces move and how is a chess game played. And now I want to talk about the main 3 stages of the game, where our main concept, chess can improve you as a person, actually follows. The beginning game, more clearly the chess opening. Now at this stage, chess will teach you that you have a great memorizing power, and there are probably dozens of openings and hundreds of variations of game. Frankly speaking, there is no way in today's date you can play 8 to 10 moves differently or uniquely, because everything and anything you play, it's already have been played and analyzed in the past, and especially after chess engines have been created, it's now more impossible. Now when we come to the technical terms, a chess opening is a group of initial moves of a game. The opening moves. Recognized sequence of openings are referred to as opening and have been given names such as the Ruy Lopez or Sicilian defense. And in short and in simple words, opening theory is concerned with finding the best move in the initial phase of the game. But after 10 to 15 moves, now things will really heat up. In that phase of the game, the position will be highly complicated, and now you are on your own, because now it depends on you how you play the game and how you find the best move in the position possible. At this moment, I am basically talking about how a normal middle game is played. We normally define it as the middle game. The middle game is the part of the game which starts after the opening. There is no clear line between the opening and the middle game, but typically the middle game will start when most pieces have been developed. Because the opening theory has ended, players have to form plans based on the features of the position and at the same time take into account the tactical possibilities of the position. The middle game is the phase in which most combinations occurs. Combinations are the series of tactical moves executed to achieve some gain. Middle game combinations are often connected with an attack against the opponent's king. Some typical patterns have their own names. In simple words, middle game's theory is usually divided into chess tactics and chess strategy. Chess strategy concentrates on setting and achieving long-term positioning advantage during the game. For example, where to place different pieces, while tactics concern immediate maneuver. These two aspects of the game play cannot be completely separated because strategic goals are mostly achieved through tactics, while the tactical opportunities are based on the previous strategy of play. Now, how does a middle game helps you? Now, there are lots of things, but I want you to tell few major points among them. First, it improves your skills of taking correct decisions. Then it teaches you to consider all the positive and negative possibilities and keeping visual in the correct situation, and makes you think logically on it, which led you to take more correct and logical, also a perfect decision. Another awesome thing it does is it makes you see multiple logical outcomes of the coming situation, and you can be ready for every of them. Basically, at that moment, you are gaining the ability of Doctor Strange. And who knows, maybe in the future even you can see 40 million outcomes. And the basic difference is Doctor Strange uses magic, and from current situation you will be using science, techniques and logic. Now personally, I don't believe in astrology and horoscopes. These are just bogus stuffs for me. But when I am talking about seeing the future, I am telling you to do it by yourself through logic and considering all the possible outcomes. Now at this moment, I just found out the best phrase to explain what I mean from the great Arthur Conan Doyle and his greatest creation, Sherlock Holmes, where he says,
Elementary, my dear Watson.
if you can deduct everything which is illogical and can play with your logic and also observe carefully what's happening currently, it's just fully possible for you to see a perfect outcome, which is ultimately seeing the future. It's really all about observation and deduction. I have actually seen beginner level players beating the best grandmasters just using observation and deductions. If you search on internet like Google or YouTube, you will find a lot of resources like that. Chess, or more specifically middle game, have more impacts, which now I am not discussing due to my time limit, but there are a lot of impacts on person characteristics. So middle game is really something impactful. Now about the end game. I personally consider this phase of the game as the most chaotic phase of the game, and in this phase you will see the true potential of a king and pawn or pawns, because now it's all about strategy and tactics and maybe survival. Now I don't wanna go into the technical definition of endgames because that will be too much boring for this awesome phase, so directly jumping into the simple word definition. Endgame theory is concerned with positions where there are only few pieces left. Endgames can be classified according to the type of pieces remaining on the board. Basic checkmates are positions in which one side has only a king and the other side has one or two pieces and can checkmate the opposing king, with the piece working together with their king. And in endgame, you learn how to utilize your creativity, patience, and organized plans. Moreover, you will also understand how even a tiny small threat can also turn the whole game against you. Also, because endgame have few normal recognizable pattern of checkmates, the more you play endgame, the more you will be able to recognize them, which will eventually make your memory strong. Now let me tell you about concentration and dedication. For concentration, this is actually a huge problem, especially for today's youth. So first, let me start with a very short story of GM Bobby Fischer, one of the best chess grandmasters of all time, and probably it will take hundreds of years to be born another chess player like him. In fact, people says that he was literally born for this game. Now, if you still don't understand what I am talking about, you can just consider him as the Einstein or Newton of chess. Now, I am not going into his backstory, but in the year 1972, in the World Chess Championship, GM Bobby Fischer played against GM Boris Spassky, and at that time, Fischer sir was so much powerful that GM Spassky literally took training from 5 different chess grandmasters of that time. But Fischer sir was fully alone on his own. At that time, Chess World Championship was literally equivalent to today's FIFA World Cup or Cricket World Cup. So all the media always used to eagerly wait for the media coverage of that event. In fact, they used to even upgrade and increase for better quality of the coverage. Now, when the match began, due to the lack of concentration, Fischer sir lost the first game, and when the second game started, during the first half game, Fischer sir requested the authority that he is unable to concentrate due to so many cameras and so many people's attention. So then, somehow the authority managed to start the game in a very private room with where there were no one apart from the players and the arbiters. In this case, if you don't know who is an arbiter, for now consider them as the invigilator and referee of the game. So back to the story, and the game started from the exact same position from where it was stopped earlier, and turns out after that, finally Fischer sir gained all the concentrations and he won 7 matches and drew 11 matches and lost just 1 match. In fact, in his 7th win, GM Boris literally stood up and clapped for him because of his brilliant performance. And once again, he became the 11th world champion of chess. This story is actually inspirational, especially who wants to be a chess player for them. But what I actually wanted you guys to understand is that concentration doesn't come automatically, or it doesn't work in the same way for everyone. It totally depends on person to person. So you have your own way of concentrating on something. It's just you have to find them out and you have to realize that. And you can't use excuses, because every time you are concentrating on something or trying to concentrate on something, then something is obviously on a high stake. So you already have a motivation for doing that work. But now, how will you concentrate? It totally depends on you. Like for me, when I feel I am unable to concentrate on something, I just play a quick game of chess, or maybe I solve some chess puzzles, which brings back my brain to working mode, and again I am able to concentrate on the work I am trying to. So you can try to find out what's best for you by doing different stuffs. Like initially, when I was unable to concentrate, I realized nothing was working for me until I got related to chess. So then when I realized that, now I started applying it for me and it's working for me totally. So for you, it's best to try out stuffs which you think can work for you. About dedication. Now, I don't want to scam you, but to be very honest, I'm directly telling you the truth. Chess directly doesn't improve your dedication level, or even if it does, I really don't know. Now, I believe dedication towards something gets bigger through love. But now, when I'm talking about chess, when I see big grandmasters playing chess, I do understand slightly about their feeling and their dedication towards this game. Earlier, I told you guys how people gives criticism to this game. But when I see the players, the grandmasters playing this game, I can see how they are entertained through the playing process. The joy of playing the game is literally visible on their faces. Whenever they get a chance of playing the game, they immediately start playing, and that's their dedication. It depends, can you dedicate yourself toward this game or not. But if you can for once, then I can bet you can use the full potential of concentration and dedication on every other thing you want. Now, talking about my own dedication, I love playing chess, especially when I am listening to music or maybe in such crazy situations when I shouldn't play chess. In fact, I love to play it when I am doing multiple stuffs together. Especially when I am too stressed, I love to play chess. And somehow it works as a stress reliever for me. Now let me share an interesting fact with you guys. When you see an official chess game, let's say you are watching a world championship match, you will see that a player played a move and just got up from their table and went somewhere, or maybe he closed his eyes and waiting for his turn. Now normally when you see this, you might think that the player simply doesn't care about the game, or he might be tired and he's just taking rest. But to be very honest, that's actually not the case. Actually, they already have the position in their mind. This is where chess makes your memory and visualization strong. Actually, this one just comes from practice. This skill is called blindfolded chess, where you are not seeing the board, but you just know what's the position and you are further calculating from here. This ability is something which actually is all about practicing. And as they say, practice makes a man perfect. So if you keep practicing, then you will obviously be master on that thing. That's for sure. So please do practice. Chess actually teaches us a lot of things which is literally impossible to cover in just one speech. But just to mention few, how to do proper analyzing, how to do proper execution of plans, especially when you are in a problem, or how to solve something which is being too much critical to solve, and many more. But moreover, it teaches you a very valuable thing, that chess as a game actually teaches you to accept the truth. Suppose in a game, when you are losing, you just know you are losing. No way you are winning that game. At maximum, you can just try for a draw, and that's the only motivation left for you to continue the game. And when you are winning, you just know you are winning. The worst happening to you is you might end up in a draw. Now, you have to accept the truth and continue the game. That's it. Now, I believe in today's date, this skill is something actually needed to be a Mr. Perfect. Now, we are on the very last stage of our speech, but before going, I want to tell you about the contribution of chess in technology. Now, you might think, how did chess contribute in technology? Actually, one of the goals of early computer scientists was to create a chess playing machine through artificial intelligence or AI technology. And in 1997, Deep Blue became the first ever computer to beat the reigning world champion in a match when it defeated GM Garry Kasparov, and that was the first evolution of the AI technology. Today's chess engines are significantly stronger than the best human players, even the current world champion also, and have deeply influenced the development of chess theory. Now, before going, I want to tell you actually something fun and something very interesting, that though I talked about this thing earlier, but just to give you some fun info, I'm just mentioning it again. So as I told you earlier, chess teaches you to read others' mind. Now I want to make this particular thing too much short, because this one can be stretched into such an extent that it can have its own standalone speech. Actually, the thing is simple. When you are playing against your opponent, you just know that this guy is now gonna play the best move against me to defeat me, and that's the trick there. Or in between, now here comes the fun part. In between, if the player is making a move which doesn't needed to be played, then you just know that the person is either waiting for checking out your own plans, or maybe just having some fun and simply trolling you a little bit. And that's how chess can be interesting and fun also. Now I do it, not all the players, but sometimes when I am just relaxing, I literally do that to sometimes check out my opponent's plans, and also to just make some fun out of them. So from this entire speech, I told you a lot about how chess really improves you as a person. Actually, I had three main intentions to give this speech. First was to show you how chess can be damn entertaining and it's not a boring game. Secondly, chess is not the game of brilliant people. In fact, chess is the game which creates brilliant people. And lastly, how chess really improves you as a person. So thank you very much for being here with me till the end. I really appreciate your patience and your interest on increasing the knowledge about chess. Now let me give my identity for the very last time on this speech. Assalamu alaikum, I am Eid, a person who loves to play chess and loves to play and do different stuffs for and with chess. You can check out my YouTube channel and Facebook page for some awesome chess contents. Also, please check out my bro's YouTube channel at syzerial on YouTube. The link is given in the description. And again, thank you brother for giving me this great opportunity of promoting chess. I really enjoyed this collaboration from the bottom of my heart. Inshallah, I will be back to this panel again, maybe with any other topic or probably with chess again in a very different version. For now, bye bye guys. Thank you very much for having me here.
From the entirety of the lecture, my observations are of the many skills which can be trained, like focus, deduction, perseverance, resilience, patience and critical thinking, alongside analysis, which are very important for the real world and sadly which many of us lack. So it's an excellent point to consider that this game is unlike any other board game which has a different sense of enjoyment, as I am unaware due to my lack of knowledge, but I can certainly find this beneficial. Yeah. That's all for today's lecture, and thanks for listening. It's been a neat experience sharing this with everyone. Assalamu alaikum, take care everyone, hope to see you soon.
खेलने को चेस के खिलाड़ी और बोर्ड पे आर्मी में जाली तुझे मेट पे ऐसे ले जाऊं तेरी मौज कराऊं बैठे खेलने को चेस के खिलाड़ी और बोर्ड पे आर्मी में जाली तुझे मेट पे ऐसे ले जाऊं तेरी मौज कराऊं